Online School of English by Alex Rubinoff.
Hello, English Online, and welcome back to this week's grammar workshop. Here is your first phrase trainer, where we give you all kinds of useful phrases and help you practice making sentences with them with a native speaker. So let's get started. Our first phrase for today is I'd rather, which is like saying I prefer to do something. Or it's often how you say, if the choice is mine, this is what I choose. Let's see what you want. Or it can just be a way of suggesting a better idea. You have one idea, and I say, well, I'd rather do this. Let's look at some examples. Don't forget to copy each one after me. I'd rather walk than take the bus. I'd rather take the train than a plane. I'd rather die than ever kiss you again. I'd rather not carry this all the way home. I'd rather study alone than with a group. So let's start with seeing examples where we compare two verb phrases. I'd rather do this than do that. So using these examples, write sentences about what this person would rather do, and then unpause me when you have your sentences ready. Okay, don't forget to pause when I read each sentence so that you have time to copy it. I'd rather go to the beach than stay home. I'd rather read a book than go dancing in clubs. I'd rather arrive late than miss the whole party. I'd rather do it myself than read the instructions. I'd rather watch a movie than go out. This is just a reminder that I'll say right now, but this goes for all of our phrase trainers. There might be more than one way of writing it, right? Here I've given you the different verb phrases, but sometimes there might be a slightly different way. Some students get very worried if their answers are not exactly the same with every word as my answers, and that really might not be a problem. If you're ever not sure if your answer is correct or not, ask your second teachers. They should know. So another way of doing it is not just I'd rather do this with one verb than do this with another verb, but to compare different nouns. Or sometimes if we're already talking about something, you don't need to say than this, because we already know what you're saying. So just look at the first example. I'd rather order a pizza. You don't need to say, I'd rather order a pizza than make dinner. If someone is already saying, well, what should we make for dinner? You could just say, I'd rather order a pizza. See how you can work the other examples, and then unpause me when you're ready. Pause me again when I read each sentence, so you have time to repeat it. I'd rather go to Texas. Or you could say, I'd rather go to Texas than Miami. But if we're already talking about going to Miami, then maybe you don't need to add the last part. I'd rather have a parrot than a cat. Or if you just wrote, I'd rather have a parrot, that's good enough. I'd rather be blind. I should have mentioned, sometimes this phrase is used to give something of a sarcastic answer or a joke. We exaggerate a little bit. One way to say that you really, really don't want to do something is to say something terrible and say, I'd rather do that. It would be better to be blind than to see that movie. The last example is like that one. I'd rather eat mud than go to her house for dinner. Maybe you love your grandma, but she's just not a very good cook. And if you say that you don't think something is a good idea, you would prefer not to do it, then you say, I'd rather not do it. Not, I'd rather not to do it. Don't use the to. So write an example about these things which you would rather not do, and then unpause me and see my examples. I'd rather not arrive late. I'd rather not make her angry. I'd rather not pay someone else to do it. I'd rather not risk getting wet if it'll rain. I'd rather not take the exam at all. All right, that's enough there. So our second phrase is a fun one. It's about getting your way. And when you say you get your way, what it means is that maybe there was a disagreement about what to do, and finally, we did what you wanted to do. So it's almost always used with the possessive, get my way, get your way, he gets his way. But all the time what it means is that what you want to have happen, that's what finally happens. And that means that you get your way. So you can repeat each example after me here. Just relax. You don't get your way every time. My sister only has to smile at my mom, and she gets her way. In a good relationship, both sides get their way sometimes. I had to argue with the woman on the phone before I got my way. I've learned to accept not getting my way on things that aren't important. So have a look at these. See if you can write a sentence about who is getting their way in these sentences, and then check my examples. Pause each sentence when I'm finished reading it so you can repeat it after me. You might get your way if you are polite. Steve gets his way if he makes someone laugh. You never get your way because you're rude. Younger brothers always get their way with their parents. If you agree with that, you're probably an older brother. How did you get your way? How did you make them agree to do that? I don't understand. So all of those are in the present. So let's look at a few other forms. I might try using some infinitives or a past tense or some other forms with the verb get your way. See if you can figure out the best way to answer each of these. Try to use maybe the same form of a verb that I used in the example. See what you can do with these. He is used to getting his way. Notice that be used to. We practiced that in our grammar this week. My brother always got his way. Let Jason get his way sometimes. Getting your way feels good. Is Jared getting his way again? That's probably Jared doing this. No one likes you, Jared. All right. That is enough for today. I hope that you can get your way when you need to on the things that are important. Practice these as much as you want from the video, or make your own sentences and use them with your second teachers. And I'll be back soon. Goodbye.